Hello everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. We just got ourselves a huge console mod drop in Baldur's Gate 3, and this is great for anime fans because we got ourselves a solo leveling class mod, which makes me think we might see some more stuff. I know I've getting a lot of comments about the Jujutsu Kaisen mod, but another exciting update, we also got this Ice Monk subclass, which has a Jujutsu Kaisen-like spell in it. So this is actually one of the best console mod drops because it opens the floodgates for more mods of other IP, I believe, to come through, because we got ourselves this Ice Monk subclass, but we also got the solo leveling class. This isn't the Shadow Monarch that I used in a previous video, which I was a big fan of. This is a completely different one, but I'll be breaking this down a little bit later on in the video. So yeah, the Shadow Monarch, with wield the power of darkness, command an army of shadows, a sovereign from the void, strike from the abyss as a deadly night reaper, lead a spectral legions as the sovereign shadow. This mod made by Eddie Main 21. It's great. I think that this could potentially mean we'll see some other things coming into Baldur's Gate 3 down the road. We also got this one by Chuloko, the Ice Monk subclass, which I'll cover in this video. And this is actually one of my favorites. This is a Sanguine Stalker Rogue subclass. Now, I've actually used this for Astarion in my playthroughs that I do on stream. I stream every weekend if you want to go check those out. So you can just check out, my live streams. But this mod was made by Unshackled here, and with this Sanguine Stalker, it's actually pretty powerful. I'll be honest. Whenever you take out targets, you get extra attacks. I'll be breaking this down again in further detail a little bit later on, but you apply bleed to targets, and you get a bunch of benefits from that as well. In addition to this, I know a lot of people will be happy for this. We got the Eldritch Invocations expanded. This is a mod that I've used in previous videos, and I'm a huge fan of it because it adds in some very nice mods, or nice invocations. This mod was made by Tyson Maniac 1, so this gives us things like the Eldritch Spear, which increases the Eldritch Blast range, which is actually crazy. We get the Grasp of Hadar, so we pull targets 15 feet towards us with the Eldritch Blast instead of pushing them away. Lance of Lethargy, we can reduce this movement speed by 10 feet when we hit it with Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Mind gives advantage on Constitution saving throws, which is for concentration on spells. We also get ourselves the Eldritch Armor, gain proficiency in light and medium armor, and the Green Lord's Grift. Whenever you're healed for the maximum amount possible. Level 7 invocations, you can cast freedom of movement on yourself without expending a spell slot. And there's more planned. Eldritch Smite, which I've used from a different mod, which it's amazing. Eldritch Smite just lets you add force damage onto your attacks. There's also Maddening Hex and Kiss of Mephistopheles. So Eldritch Spear being my favorite, being able to do Eldritch Blast from so far away and keep pushing people back. You can solo the game using this. I've tried it out. It's actually kind of fun. You just Eldritch Blast people with the pushback and they can't catch up to you. They can dash all they want, but it's not happening. So this is pretty crazy. I'm excited to see that. Another very crazy one. 60 new wild shape spells for Sorcerer. This mod was made by Relamod, and I'm happy to see more of their mods coming here. It's pretty wild. It's hard to detail everything that happens here, but pushes anyone back 6 meters. Wild Magic Surge, immune to fall damage and jump distance tripled. Nearby allies get separated from Supernatural Resolve. Their attacks deal additional 1 to 4 force damage. So some of these are nice. The Wild Magic Sorcerer is just unpredictable. You can also turn yourself into an owl bear. Transform yourself into a rat. You can gain temporary health points and deal additional necrotic damage, and cast Halo of Spores, dealing double damage. So you can add in spore druid stuff while you're playing as a wild magic sorcerer. You can add in like the Hero's Feast. You can turn into a displacer beast. You can charm nearby enemies. You can have a wild magic shape where you can move an additional additionally while on your next turn, emit the stench of the tomb and cause things to nauseate, which reduces their actions. Wild Magic Surge, you can create a big fire explosion around your character. You can instill fear onto targets, and much more. This adds 60 new Wild Magic Sorcerer spells. If you've never played a Wild Magic Sorcerer, basically what happens every time you cast a spell, there's a chance that a Wild Magic Surge will happen. You can also use the Tides of Chaos to increase that chance to happening by like 45%. And yeah, there's a lot of them. There's Lithid abilities, basically things that are already in the game. This adds it in. Relamod is also the creator of the More Enemies and the Extra Encounters mod. They've made a lot of really great stuff. I highly recommend their Extra Encounters mod too on console. But yeah, 60 new Wild Magic Sorcerer spells. We also got ourselves a Vampire Origin new mod made by Lord President. Shouts out to them. They make some amazing mods. And this is just an updated version of their Vampire Origin, which adds a bunch of new features here. So it makes it a bit more powerful too, which is really nice. You can see here all the different abilities. So you get your Vampire Bite. And you can also become a spawn vampire or a full vampire. So that's really nice. This gives you the Vampire Claw, Gaseous Form, Bat Form, Dark Vision, Necrotic, Resistance, Radiant Vulnerability, Fire Vulnerability, Sleep and Charm Immunity, Musical Proficiency. You can turn yourself back into a human, Power of the Shadows, you get advantage on attack rolls and strength checks, and an advantage on charisma checks. Bestow full vampire status, so you can make yourself more powerful. Vampire weak effect, you give yourself negative effects on your skills, ability checks, and attack rolls there. Become the Dark Urge. Yeah, there's a lot going on with this mod. Definitely recommend this one if you're a fan of the other vampire mod. This also lets you summon in a wolf, which is cool, or an undead companion, depending on your level. Level 8, you get the wolf, and level 12, you get the undead companion, which lets you summon 2 ghouls to fight by your side. It's fun. I definitely recommend this. Shout out to the Lord President. They've made so many great mods. They have a lot of other ones that'll hopefully be coming here soon. You can see there a lot of stuff going on. Now, we also got ourselves Nedrel's Spellsword equipment mod. This is made by Nedrel 11, and this is it's just got some different items for someone that may be playing, like particularly the Arcane Vanguard, my favorite class mod in the game, which is a spellcaster hybrid with a melee attacker. So things like crossbow that gives you an increased critical hit chance. This is the Soul Resonance. Once per turn, you regain a level 1 spell slot when you land a crit. So they're not overpowered. It actually feels like these would be something in the base game itself. You got this light armor here, gain Cat's Grace, which gives you +2 dexterity and freedom of movement, advantage on dexterity saving throws, meaning you're likely to save on Fireball. Arcane Amplifier, +1 to spell save DC, advantage on Charisma, Wisdom, and Intelligence saving throw checks, and a +1 to all 3 of those stats. Very nice. Cloak of Greater Protection. This is similar to the Cloak of Protection I use on a lot of my builds. Gives you a +2 to armor class, and also can't be critically hit. Gloves of Resonance. Whenever you deal thunder damage, you inflict 2 turns of reverberation. Your weapon attacks do thunder damage, so that further stacks up thunder and reverberation. And when only holding 1 weapon in your hand, you gain a +2 to attack rolls and thunderous smite. So that's great for if you're going to use the Duelist Prerogative weapon. You'll see the Fairy Knight boots. You can be moved by difficult terrain, and +3 movement speed, immunity to fall damage, and you get a Misty Step spell. Amulet of Magi, +2 to the spell save DC and the Arcane Recovery, and advantage on Constitution saving throw checks. The Ring of the Rumbling echoes. Whenever you deal thunder damage to a reverberating target, becomes dazed, which means you can land anything with a Wisdom save much more highly. So things like Command and Hold Person will land more freely, and also deal additional thunder damage with thunder damage and resistance to thunder damage. And the Ring of Psychic Retaliation. When a foe fails a saving throw, it gets mental fatigue, and when you succeed a saving throw, you deal them 1 to 4 psychic damage. So yeah, this is pretty good. Not brokenly overpowered. I think this is very fair. We also got Eldritch Blast +1 projectile. You can already imagine what this does. It just makes every single Eldritch Blast do 1 more blast, which is nice. It's a little bit of a game changer, not overpowered. I think that's kind of cool. We also got 1 D&D skill list additions. So this is nice because similar to some other mods. So this one's made by Rando Ruda here. They made the spell list editions, which is also in console, adds different spell lists. So like the Bard can get some different spells. Basically what this does is it gives different skill proficiencies to the classes. It's all right. I mean, if you want to get persuasion proficiency on a different class that doesn't normally get it, it's nice for that, because persuasion is one of the best skills in Baldur's Gate 3, in my opinion. We also got Gale's Piercings with Physics. So vanilla, boring, modded, cool. They bounce around. So yeah, this just gives the physics to his earrings. There's already a mod that just got released on console a week or 2 ago, which gives the piercings physics. So this is just a follow-up on that mod. Now we also got ourselves this here by Graphic Fade. They've made the Fade's equipment distribution, but they've also made this mod. So we'll hopefully see their Paladin equipment mod come soon. But with this one here, this makes it so you can choose what type of Divine Smite damage you want to do. If you want to do a lightning version and go with a full Thor build, you can do that. Or Thunder, or War Master. You got lots of options here. So this is really cool. Another amazing mod by Graphic Fade here. We also got extra radiant weapons. This adds a bunch of different weapons that'll do radiant damage, and it applies additional radiant damage, or gives you divine favor, things like that. Mods made by Sauron 154, similar to the Sauron from Lord of the Rings. So yeah, this is nice. It just gives a few weapons here. So this one gives 2 stacks of divine favor. And with Illuminated, this spear has a +5 bonus to attack rolls, but you have disadvantage on creatures that are not illuminated. And it's very heavily focused on if you're doing a radiating orb build, which I'm a big fan of. That's one of my favorite builds in the game. This one gives 2 stacks of divine favor, and it glows. Some of them are a little strong, but not brokenly overpowered, I'd say. 1 turn of reverberating, radiating orbs there. It's just additional 1d4 radiant damage on all these. So pretty nice. This one here, the Bone Wand, is cool because there's not many wands in the game. This gives you holy fire rays. It's cool. It's kind of like Scorching Ray, but holy. Can apply holy fire on the target. Divine Relic Scepter. The wielder gains the brand of the Silverlight and lunar radiance to all allies and turns undead. Fallen Angel Dagger, which gives basically advantage on attacks targets that are hit by the holy fire. So yeah, this is pretty fun. There's a ton of different items here that you can go through and use. So I definitely recommend checking this one out if you're someone that enjoys Radiant style builds, because yeah, this is the most Radiant items that I've seen ever in a console mod drop. So yeah. We also got another mod by Skirby. Super excited with this one. It's the Evelyn's Winter Rose. I'm a big fan of cold damage. Cold damage in Baldur's Gate 3 and Jay Dunna go together like PB and J. This just adds the new weapon here. It's available in the chest and it's not working properly here. And I'm also having issues with my tutorial chest. So I unfortunately can't show this one off, but you can see there, it looks beautiful. It's got a little bit of extra cold damage on there. It's got the cold flowing through it there. So yeah, just additional 1d4 of cold damage. Like all of Skirby's mods, it adds a bunch of different attacks as you level up. So yes, it's a slight bit overpowered in my opinion, but I think it's fun for subsequent playthroughs, especially if you're using Tactician Enhanced. So this gives you like Freezing Smite, gives you Snowstorm, Ice Lands, Winter's Fury, and Cold Snap abilities. Very cool. Huge fan of Skirby's work. They do a great job. Now we also got the all classes gain music proficiency. Nice. That does exactly what the title says. Sauron 154. It's got a few of their mods got released onto console here, especially today. We also got ourselves Stats Instruments of Proficiencies by Bellin from Nexus Mods. So this just adds a bunch of instruments that give you a boost to your weapon proficiencies. You may have seen last week there was mods that gives you like underwear of proficiencies. Similar concept here. It's got the instruments which will boost up your proficiencies, so you can give yourself like armor proficiencies, weapon proficiencies, whatever really you can imagine. It's all broken down, so that gives you all different types of weapons and stuff there. So pretty cool. Again, it's more so for like if you want your bard to wear heavy armor, you can use this, but there's also other mods for that as well. And we also got dyes for camp clothes, so this adds a bunch of more dyes to the game. 7 new of them to be exact by Yulia A. You get the idea from it from here. I'm still a huge fan of Faerun colors. I can't stop using that mod. I've tried many different dye mods. I still think that this one is one of the best, but hey, I'm always down for more options, so this may be suiting for your fancy. So yeah, you can see there all 7 different dyes. Pretty nice. And the final mod, another dice mod. So this is the pathway to Sanctuary. It looks pretty nice, but I still like some of the other ones that got previously released. But the big thing is these 3 class mods, which I'll briefly show off here now. So the Shadow Monarchs, solo leveling. You get the choice of cantrips here at level 1 with Eldritch Blast and Bonus Shield being your choices. You also get a +2/+2 bonus, so kind of nice there. Once we get to level 2, we get increased movement speed and the Shadow Manipulation, granting you the ability to manipulate shadows into weapons and allies, and the Shadow Manipulation skill there, and Pact of the Blade. Also get to choose 2 fighting styles, kind of nice there. And as we continue to level up, you get more and more abilities here. So this subclass, we get Shadow Sovereign, which gives the commander's presence bolster nearby allies and deal additional 1-6 psychic damage on their attacks for 5 turns. Or the Night Reaper, giving you a Silent Predator, deal extra necrotic damage to a target you have advantage against. So I'll go with the Shadow Sovereign there to show that off. Also gives you the advanced techniques. If you use weapons with finesse property, you'll deal additional psychic damage equal to dexterity modifier. This isn't as cool. I like the other Shadow Monarch build that we got, but this one's good too for people that are on console that want something to hold them over until the other one potentially will come. The other one's also just called the Shadow Monarch, so it's less branding, so I have a good feeling we'll see that. We have the Ebon Strike, deal regular damage and possibly inflict Ebon Rupture, which causes extra damage on attacks. Then we get a lot of different choices to get, like Fury from the Beholder there, Dissonant Whispers, and you get a feat at level 4. Now there's not icons that work for this class, but that's alright. Level 5, you get the extra attack and you get command, and you also get Shadow Manipulation 2, which I'll show you in just a moment here. At level 6, we get ourselves the class feature, Key Empowered Strikes, overcoming resistance. And we get the Shadow Bulwark, bolster with Resolve. Allies gain temporary health points for 5 turns as a bonus action. At level 7, we get an extra bonus action, and we also get Shadow Step. We can teleport as a bonus action. So a lot of uses for our BA. So that's kind of nice. Level 8, just a feat there. Level 9, you get Tenacity. You gain the Evasion feature whenever a subject is... When subject to an effect that allows a dexterity saving throw, you take no damage and half on a failure. So similar to the evasion skill that the Monk and the Rogue get. At level 10, you get Shadow Domain. You radiate an aura of darkness within 20 feet meter radius. You can activate or deactivate this as a bonus action. You also get Shadow Manipulation 3 and the Legion of Darkness. We can finally create a shadow creature from the Beyond. And we get a choice of spells. Again, spells is not going to be a main focus of this because we aren't a great spellcaster, but still a decent one nonetheless. And for the final level there, just a feat. So, Shadow Manipulation. We got the Shadow Manipulation 3, so we can Shadow Extraction Beast. As an action, you can summon the Shadow of Beast. So we'll summon that puppy in there. Crawling Gnaw, so it's a Shadow Owl Bear there. And it's got the Mother's Desperation still. It's got the Dash and the Shadowy Claws, which does additional necrotic damage on it. Looks pretty cool. So that's a level 2 Shadow Manipulation. So that's level 3. Level 2 gives us the Shadow Caster here, which is kind of like a ghostly figure there. So this gives us a few different attacks. It's got Beckoning Darkness, a Life Drain, Untellable Secret, and a melee weapon attack, which doesn't deal a whole lot, and Sleep.
Still in control.
And we also got a Shadow Manipulation 1, which lets us create a Legion of Darkness, Shadow Blade, Shadow Extraction, Warrior, Mage, or Beast. So this is a Shadow Legion there, so we can summon this in. It's just basically a Shadows from Act 1 or Act 2, and they just have the Strength Drain attack and a Necrotic Claws, which deals a bit more damage than you'd imagine it would. But yeah, you got all the options here. You can create a Shadow Blade, so you can target yourself, give yourself the Shadow Blade, which is a short sword there, just does piercing damage. Not really that strong, so I almost wouldn't recommend doing it, but it looks cool because it's got that shadowy appearance on your back. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Shadow Extraction. I'll show you the mage one here too. So this is good if you want something a little bit different. So yeah, you got all these options here. You got your Shadowy Domain as well, and Arms of Adar, Shadow Bulwark, which will give yourself some temporary health as well. And I guess it gives your allies the temporary health. You also have things like the Commander's Present, which gives you additional psychic damage on your teammates' attacks. So it's pretty cool. I think this is nice, especially for those that want to play like a roleplay like build. Umbra Kinesis here, which will give you an increased armor class as well. So you got some pretty cool looking effects on your character there. The Shadow Monarch solo leveling build, Baldur's Gate 3, pretty nice. And here we got the Ice Monk, which gives your unarmed attacks additional cold damage, which works great if you get the Snowburst ring, because every punch will make an ice surface below them. You also get resistance to ice damage here. Now, this is a cool one. I'm a big fan of cold builds, as you guys know. Can slip on ice, too, which is perfect. You also get Flurry of Ice, punch twice in quick succession, freezing the target, which is pretty powerful because bludgeoning, force, and thunder damage is doubled when the target is frozen. You also get Frost Blast and the Frost Step, which is basically Misty Step with a fancy new name. At level 6, you get to create Ice Katana, Spear, and Great Club, and the Wholeness of Body, so you can heal yourself back, which is pretty nice. Now, as we continue to level up, it has a lot of the same things the monk gets normally, but then you also get the Cone of Cold and the Armor of Frost, which uses 1 key point. It's crazy. And then Armor of Frost, which uses 2 of them, actually also crazy. I will cover the Sanguine Stalker in a build guide later today, so you can stay tuned for that video to drop. You also get the Frost app. All your attacks apply Frost. Crazy, because Frost can build up to freeze the target as well. So yeah, I'm a fan of this class mod. Domain Expansion, Crystallized Abyss. Cover the battlefield with ice from the abyss. That's where the Jujutsu Kaisen comes in. I know a lot of people are really looking forward to a class mod for Jujutsu Kaisen. I get comments every single day regarding it, so I hope we see it soon. But basically, what the Domain Expansion will look like. So you can pop that down. I'm just going to do it over here to hopefully not aggro anyone. Domain Expansion. It turns everyone frozen. Looks pretty funny. So yeah, they're all frozen in ice there. Oof, watch yourself. So yeah, this is pretty fun. Crystallized Abyss. It freezes the targets that are now frozen. Yeah, this is really cool. So again, I will cover the Sanguine Stalker subclass here in a video in the tonight, so you can stay tuned for that. But great console mod drop in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know which of these is your favorite in the comments, and hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed. We'll see y'all in the next one.